Number 7 News at 8 o'clock on Local 3. Ukraine's president tours the area where officials say war crimes were committed. His comments as world leaders commit to holding Russia responsible.
Plus, how a new emergency system promises to simplify the process of getting safety messages to your phone.
And a rally at the state capitol tomorrow will question our election integrity, why the officials who protect your vote say it's time for critics to show proof of their claims.
We have a lot to get to this hour, but our top story is helping get these kids home safe. Take a look at your screen. They were last seen with their mother in Wyoming, who does not have custody. Officials believe Alexis Roth is traveling through Colorado with the girls on her way to Texas. She's believed to be driving a 2009 white Dodge van.
Also, in an unrelated search, officials are looking for this escaped inmate. They say Frank Elliott walked away from a minimum security federal prison in Littleton Sunday morning. He was serving a 6-month sentence for drugs.
It is now taking a look outside. We have a live look. Hey, Lisa.
Hey.
You were excited to tell us about the beautiful day ahead.
And why not?
Always, right? Yeah, exactly. When I've got the good news to share with you this morning. Right now, upper 30s to near 40 here in town. Winds are coming in out of the south at right around 5 to about 10 miles per hour. You can see south near Pueblo to Trinidad. We do have some snow and rain, even a few thunderstorms out across the southeastern plains this morning. Here in town, those skies really clearing out, and we're going to be in for a really pretty day today. Mid to upper 60s here between 4 and 5, so it's going to be a warm afternoon. Boulder, Erie, Platteville, all in the mid to upper 60s, low to mid 60s near Castle Rock and Parker, and you're going to find 50s in the foothills. Evergreen this afternoon in the upper 50s. Now by, it looks like mid-morning tomorrow, look at the winds picking up. Gusty conditions. Those winds will get going early tomorrow. Chance for some rain showers across the plains, and the northern and central mountains by that point will be picking up some snow. So we'll have more details on this next storm coming up here in just a few minutes.
Finally, some better news on I-70 as all lanes are open on the westbound side, right by the Coliseum. On that westbound side, it's still just miserable. Now you can see that traffic releasing from the camera here at the tunnel, but it's still going to be slow and go for us getting through here, and the traffic behind it is awful. Take a look at the map again. It's registering at an hour and a half. The calculation of how long it would take you on Colfax from 225 over to I-25 is about a half an hour, depending on how you catch the traffic lights, 25 to 30 minutes there. It's still a better option than using I-70, and 270 is still busy for us across Commerce City, and then it opens up to I-25 and then heading south. So those are still better options. It's going to take some time before all that I-70 traffic can get out of its way and move a lot better across town. The south side of town's been quiet. 225 is busy. I-25 is busy down here. We also are busy out of Castle Rock. We've had a crash that was blocking up a bunch of lanes. Now it's just the right lane before you get to Happy Canyon right after the outlet. So take a look from the camera down there, and you can still see a lot of slow and go, stop and go traffic. If you want to use 85 or Santa Fe over to Happy Canyon, obviously Happy Canyon is pretty slow to I-25. But that's one way around it, or just take it all the way up. Well, no, then you have the construction by Levier's, so that's no good going up to Highlands Ranch, but it still might be a better option than I-25 right now.
You can see you processing it all in your head there, Jason. Thank you. Making sure you know when there's an emergency sooner. Today, Aurora city leaders will discuss using a new system that sends an alert to your phone.
Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live. Veronica, this is similar to what was used for evacuations during the most recent NCAR fire in Boulder County, which felt different from the Marshall fire.
It is, and hundreds of people got those evacuation alerts on their phone during the NCAR fire over in Boulder County. And now cities across the metro, they're getting much more serious about these exact kind of notifications. So today, Aurora is going to be discussing implementing a new one there. So the one that they're going to be talking about is called the Integrated Public Alert and Warning Systems, or IPAWS for short. It was actually used for the very first time over a week ago in Boulder County when that NCAR fire sparked. So here's how this one works. IPAWS allows those trained and authorized staff members within the Office of Emergency Management and 911 communication centers to go ahead and trigger an alert notification to all cell phones that are within a specific geographic region when there's one of these live safety events happening. These alerts, they're really similar to those Amber alerts that we get on our phones from time to time. Now, this alert system is special because it doesn't require you to sign up for it. But here's where the issue lies. Because IPAWS uses those cell phone towers, the messaging, it's much less precise than if you were to sign up for it. Anyone whose phone pings the relevant towers, they're going to get one of these alerts, even if you're well outside the area that's being impacted. So it's a known issue that officials say, unfortunately, is really hard to avoid. Aurora City officials are going to be chatting about implementing this during a meeting today. That's happening at 6:30 this evening. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Tomorrow, there will be a rally at the state capitol raising election security concerns. But county clerks who oversee elections say your vote is safe. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live. Christian, clerks say they've been through 2 years of increased hostility over the results.
Yeah, Micah, and they're asking for them to bring them proof or to stop making these claims. And during a press conference Sunday morning, a group of county clerks came together and they talked about how they've gone through 2 years of false claims from conspiracy theorists. And they highlighted some of the impacts that this has caused on their safety as well. And among the speakers at that meeting were Republican Weld County Clerk Carly Koppes and Denver County Clerk Paul Lopez, who is a Democrat.
The biggest message is, again, we are putting this demand that they are acting in good faith, that they do come and bring us not just the reports, but everything, all of the data that they analyze, all of the affidavits that they have, anything and everything. Bring it to us, and we will make sure and give it its fair due in an investigation.
And they also told me that they've had to spend thousands of hours answering questions about these claims from the public, but they told me that they are dedicated to making sure that they address these claims with the community. We're live in Denver this morning. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Christian. At the same time, some county clerks are facing accusations of spreading misinformation. The most prominent being Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters, who will be at tomorrow's rally. She's currently facing charges related to tampering with election equipment and the leak of sensitive election information. Despite this, Peters is running for Secretary of State against Jenna Griswold. Colorado's GOP leadership have called on her to end her campaign. The Secretary of State is also investigating Elbert County Clerk Dallas Schroeder after voting system hard drives were copied and distributed.
Tell the truth about the war on your social networks, on TV. Support us in any way you can, but not silence.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky making an emotional plea during the Grammys last night as the world learned of new atrocities found in the suburbs of Kyiv. And then moments ago, President Zelensky toured the town of Bucha to see where Russian troops executed many of his citizens. A mass grave with hundreds of victims was found nearby. He said the Russian soldiers treated his people worse than animals.
New this hour, the European Union says it will form a team with Ukraine to investigate the alleged war crimes. ABC's M. Nguyen details what will likely be entered into evidence.
Devastation across Ukraine as authorities accuse Russia of committing war crimes. In Bucha, a city northwest of the capital Kyiv, bodies lying in the streets, some victims with their hands bound and others shot at close range. Local officials say it appears some were tortured. Bucha's mayor saying hundreds are buried in a mass grave. This satellite image showing a 45-foot-long trench near a church. This woman and her husband, she says, dragged from their apartment by Russian troops and then separated. Later, she found him dead. In the south, explosions in Ukraine's main port city of Odessa after Russian missiles hit an oil refinery and several fuel depots. In war-torn Mariupol, families forced to leave behind loved ones to try to flee the country. Ukrainian President Zelensky calling the killings a genocide. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying they're a punch in the gut, agreeing Russian forces have committed war crimes and that the U.S. is working to document them.
We can't normalize this. This is the reality of what's going on every single day as long as Russia's brutality against Ukraine continues. That's why it needs to come to an end.
Blinken also saying he believes the war is entering a new phase as Russian troops move away from Kyiv, focused more on the south and east after suffering heavy losses in the north.
As negotiations continue between the two countries, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. and its allies are open to lifting sanctions against Russia if it means a peace deal. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead, a travel nightmare just as millions are coming off spring break. What airlines blame for thousands of canceled flights this weekend.
Also, meet the Colorado students making sure their community is prepared for wildfire season.
I always remember like looking and like feeling like I couldn't do anything, and I've always wanted to help our community.